Hey everybody. Just gonna wait for some more people to join in. We usually have um, some stragglers here, so give me just a minute. I'm getting everything set up for us. Cool. Right. And as usual, I'm going to keep our um, live chat open on the side as well as the Q&A here. So give me a second while I get all that Q&A pulled up for us. And the chat here. So if you guys have any questions, ideas, anything like that, while I'm presenting here, feel free to stop me. Feel free to throw something in the chat. Um, this is, I think, what week are we in? This is I think it's our 15th webinar. Tuesday webinar that we've done. Essentially, this was something that we were working on. We wanted to present to you guys something new every single week. We've done a variety, or I've done a variety now between, how-tos, step-by-step guides, deep dives, new kind of like systems that you can implement inside of a construction company, roadmaps for you guys to get adoption with AI inside the construction company. And really all of the ideas I've tried to pull just from, our AI community, like it's just construction people in there. I just got back from a conference. It was the Society of American Military Engineers, SAME, small business conference in Phoenix. So I was there the week before Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. But tons of chatting about AI, everything from, people coming up to us and saying, hey, I know people in our company are using AI, but we don't have any control. We don't have any oversight. We don't know how they're using it or what they're doing with it or anything like that. All the way through to, yeah, we pay for, company accounts and collaborate and stuff like that. It was cool to meet a couple of you guys that come to these webinars, that came and visited our Contracts Connected booth at the conference. So that was awesome. Thank you guys for stopping by. This is our biggest webinar attendance so far. We have 160, 170, 169, 169 people registered for today. So without further ado, I think that we've given people enough time to join if they're going to join late. And just again, to recap here, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want me to go off on a tangent about a different topic that maybe I'm sparking your interest of here, the Q&A is open. You can access that within this webinar presentation. I will answer every question that is put in there, as well as the chat is open as well. Before I get started, I always throw in at the beginning of these things our AI blueprint link into the chat. So I just put that in there. If you guys are not part of it yet, it's only getting better and better. We have like over 60 contract or construction professionals in there collaborating around how they use AI. I post in there every single day about some kind of tool, tip, PDF, guide, or news. And I also have classes. I have full courses taking you from basically an average, maybe you've tried some GPT stuff, maybe you use it sometimes, to being like a top user with, all the prompting knowledge, advanced prompting stuff that you can possibly know, as well as like construction specific, um, you know, uploading your project information, uploading any other information that might make your team and yourself more of a weapon when it comes to using AI daily. So I think that kind of kicks us off here. Let's go ahead and get started. And also, if I have time, I've talked with a couple of people over at OpenAI. the creators of ChatGPT. I have some news. They're releasing some stuff later this month. So if I have time to talk about it at the end, I will. But I'm looking forward to those releases. So let's go. So, overall, like an introduction that I wanted to kind of like briefly put an overview to this before I dive in. I want to put a disclaimer here that I'm trying to be very realistic, and be a realist here when it comes to, what things is AI going to continuously kind of like eat away at, and what things are like a little more far out there, I do believe that in today's day and age, there's very few positions at a construction company that can be fully automated using AI. I think some of the contract administration, our goal at Contracts Connected, we are building an AI contract administrator. And there might be one contract administrator or someone at the company that's kind of controlling this. We've talked about human in the loop in past AI webinars here, but we're building someone that can, draft these contracts, put the scopes of works into the subcontract, go collect things, send them for e-signature, report on them to the right people. Really allow the team, and especially if at your construction company, people like PMs or people that are like, more project specific, if they're responsible for chasing down paperwork, that stuff shouldn't be happening, right? Like that's not a value producing activity. That's just, a necessary evil. And I think that's the theme that you're going to see throughout this presentation today is we're automating necessary evils. We're not automating the hard problem solving yet, the relationships yet, the creative like on-site stuff yet. And maybe eventually, right? I'm going to get into that and kind of like what timelines and what companies are looking for. But I really want to kind of like just stress that, that necessary evil stuff, even around contract administration, it can be done. And what I tell people all the time, and especially people in our AI community for construction that I run, it's really about like, is anybody dedicating the time, energy, and resources to automate that stuff? It can do so much, especially with paperwork. It can do so much, but there's not enough technology companies out there that are really investing in the research and development to make that happen. So with that kind of disclaimer out there, I'm not going to be shouting from the rooftops that, like everybody here is out of work. Like that's not the case. I'm here to give you guys a real look inside of what technologies are developing and what to expect and what can be done right now. So, as far as an introduction, I just wanted to put this in here that, AI is transforming the US construction industry. It is enhancing efficiency and addressing labor shortages. However, this rapid technological advancement poses critical challenges, particularly concerning in which workers and roles may be adversely affected. With industry's historicals, underinvestment in IT, which I think construction tech is on the uptrend, but it's hard to change a process within a company that's been doing something for 25 years the same way they've always done it, just to adopt new technology. I think that's more the case rather than like underinvestment. But many construction firms in their workforce are currently, not super forward facing to adapt, implementing this AI revolution that's happening in other sectors here. So, the construction knowledge and digital and AI skills required in the modern construction landscape, I think is relatively lacking, and you guys are just busy. That's kind of the overall piece here. So, in addition to showing kind of like what's coming and how it's coming, I wanted to also put part of this presentation together to give you guys a really good understanding of how you can upskill yourself, upskill your team, or upskill your entire company around this. I get it, you're in the weeds, you're doing stuff every day, your to-do list is 80 miles long, your inbox is never empty. I get it, trust me. But this stuff is important. And it's important to know, understand, and I think that the people here on this webinar today, you guys get it. So let me jump in to our next slide here. So, the construction industry is undergoing a significant transformation propelled by the integration of artificial intelligence. However, this shift raises critical concerns regarding which roles might be at risk of displacement due to automation, the specific skills that are currently, lacking among the workforce, and the strategies being adopted by industry stakeholders to reskill and upskill workers effectively. Addressing these issues is essential to ensure that the workforce remains competitive and that no individual is left behind as the industry evolves. I mentioned that I was at the SAME Small Business Conference 2 weeks ago before Thanksgiving. And out of the four technology companies that were there, three of them were AI companies. So I know that's not a ton of technology companies, but it just goes to show that, those booths that did have have AI features, they had a lot of interest. There's a lot of people trying to figure out, like, okay, what does this do? How could it help me? Like, would our company actually use this? Do we actually have a problem big enough to automate that? All of those kinds of things, people are very, very um, like open to talking about those things right now in the construction industry, which I think is great. But in terms of, actually understanding what it does, how it works, is important, especially in the federal space. So let's talk about, roles that could be at risk. And again, I want to take a realist approach here, so I'm going to kind of do a caveat in each one of these. But there was a company that I've seen, and I think you guys have all seen this before, different robotic systems out there, in terms of being able to produce a very standardized result. Every screw is torqued to the exact specs that are needed. Every screw is perfectly placed in the middle of the 2x4. That stuff is going to happen eventually. I think that it's far out. Whether it's going to happen in the next 10 years, it's really questionable in my mind. I just think that there's um, so much variability on job sites that from what I've seen in machine learning and from what I understand in terms of the AI intelligence and I really think that we can all associate this with LiDAR systems or camera systems that cars like Tesla use or those self-driving Turos or not Turos, sorry. Uh I forgot the name of them, but they're the white Jaguars. Anyway, these car systems, you got to think about how many Teslas are out there collecting data every single day, and they still like their self-driving is still getting incrementally better, right? And in terms of like walking a job site, picking things up, placing things correctly, that kind of stuff, like think about the same track until there is thousands, tens of thousands of these robots, like they're all going to learn from each other. And they're going to have a shared brain across how to do things the best way. So the more they get out there on the job sites, the quicker it will learn. And eventually it will become an extremely smart kind of skilled worker because it will have seen every different scenario and every different type of project and every different type of problem. You're seeing these now with a robot called Neo, Neo. If you guys have not seen the Neo robot, you should definitely go look it up. It is the first robot to really be accepted by consumers to come into your home and do things like grocery or like laundry, cleaning, picking up dog poop, stuff like that. The key with them is they're trying to lease these out so you can rent one for $500 a month and have this robot in your house like doing laundry, but you're supposed to teach it. It doesn't come pre-programmed being able to just walk in your house and automatically know. This is really like an early adopter phase of these robots. And they just don't have enough information to be able to do this by themselves. So what they're doing is people that rent them teach them. They teach them how to do the laundry. They teach them how to wash dishes and what they like, where to put things. And they're uploading all of that stuff into a shared kind of like brain. So when somebody teaches their robot how to do their laundry, it's improving it for everybody. So I think it's going to be a compounding effect. Very rarely do you see technology be able to have a compounding effect, but Tesla's done this very well with their cars. And all the self-driving cars actually are collecting that data out there to improve their systems. But there are robotic drywall finishers out there already. I've seen some that are like fastening, screws and things on the side of high-rise buildings. And it's just reducing the risk. It reduces human error. And if they can create something that's consistent, it's going to be pretty cool. But how fast this happens really depends on, how much workforce adoption happens. Construction companies are going to have to adopt this stuff in order for it to improve on itself. So this isn't necessarily something that you should be worried about in the next 12 months or the next 2 years. But things like robotic bricklayers and concrete printers can lay bricks or pour structures significantly faster than human workers. Some robotic systems are already capable of laying up to 1,200 bricks a day. This is outpacing a human by, 2 to 3 times. And this technology is advancing rapidly, making traditional bricklaying crews, increasingly vulnerable to job displacement. But again, the industry as a whole is going to have to start to adopt this stuff for, the workforce to really feel any kind of pressure around themselves. And I do think that, as we do with technology at Contracts Connected, this human in the loop, okay, yeah, go lay those bricks, but we still want a human to give that sign off, right? So that'll still be in the loop here in those bricklayers, maybe if they're bringing on robots onto the site, they'll be more of like a QC kind of deal. Roofing is another one that I found a few startups building robotics and stuff around. Roofing is projected to be, highly susceptible to automation, with estimates suggesting that, a 90% risk due to the repetitive nature of tasks such as replacing uniform tiles. Advanced robotics are being developed to perform these tasks and threatening, some roofing jobs out there. But again, this is all about repetitive stuff here. You're noticing a trend between these two technologies and what I've seen in robotics in general. It's like one robot that's just a drywall robot, right? And it doesn't even look like a person. It's not a humanoid robot. It's like a scissor lift on steroids. The bricklayer, it just does one thing repeatedly well. Roofing does one thing repeatedly well. More complex stuff like plumbing, stuff like that, that stuff's going to take a little bit longer for these robots to learn. Entry level and assistant roles, particularly in back office functions, are at, a bigger risk, like sooner, of replacement as companies adopt AI technologies. Tasks such as scheduling, data entry, and document control are increasingly handled by automated systems, leaving fewer opportunities for junior clerks, administrative assistants, stuff like that. And to be honest, you guys, like a lot of the people I come into contact with at these companies, these general contractors, property managers, AE firms, whatever it is. A lot of the people that are in the back office that are doing this repetitive stuff, they're typically people that have been there for like 20 plus years doing the same thing over and over and over, downloading attachments, filing them away, updating Excel trackers, sending a PDF, tracking for e-signatures. That's all stuff that we automate at Contracts Connected. And one thing that I've kind of like noticed is the younger generation, like this like new generation coming out of college, they're not going to be as fulfilled just sitting at a computer for the next 50 years downloading things from their email and updating Excel trackers. There's this struggle to like recruit more younger talent into these roles that have a little bit less like fulfilling stuff to them. So one thing, that I think AI is fixing is like the labor shortage in terms of being able to recruit young, hungry talent that's willing to do stuff that feels a little bit like mindless work and just busy work. So if we can eliminate the busy work and get that younger talent in the door in a way that they feel a little more fulfilled, I think that's a win-win for everybody. So I do think that, as our mission is to create an AI contract administrator for any kind of AEC firm, it's solving a problem in terms of recruiting. And routine tasks. So AI technologies excel right now at managing, routine things. This is reducing the demand for positions like junior clerks and assistants, capabilities to auto scan invoices, process RFIs, update schedules automatically. These tools enhance efficiency, but threaten, that traditional entry level job. So, bringing somebody on and more of like a, hey, I'm going to train you to be a really great project manager or something like that, it's going to look a little different. Awesome. So I want to focus on the first role that I really think is at the most risk here, and that's more of the like administration, entry level stuff. And I brought in some stats here from a few different surveys. So these are all going to be kind of like what companies right now in the AEC space are thinking in terms of, how they want to move forward with technology and what they hope it achieves for them over the next few years. So 4 in 10 companies plan role replacements with AI currently at this executive level. The shift towards AI in construction is significant, with more than 40% of companies planning to replace certain roles with automation technologies. This reflects a broader trend in the industry towards efficiency, cost reduction, and leaving many workers in entry-level positions at risk. 58% of firms target back office automation. So this is what we're building at Contracts Connected right now. We're building fully automated back office for the AEC community. But right now, back office functions are particularly vulnerable. 58% of firms targeting these tasks for automation, administrative roles, data management, document management, scheduling. It's increasingly being handled by AI, reducing the need for human, you know, whether you call them project administrators, clerks, assistants, project coordinators, project support team. I've heard it all. But these are traditionally people that are spending a lot of time in PDFs, a lot of time in their email, a lot of time filing things away. And that's really one thing, a big piece that can easily be automated, where maybe you keep one person, so you keep this human in the loop, feedback loop, but it turns it into, one person doing the work of 5 people. 37% of firms plan to automate entry-level positions. So entry-level positions are particularly at risk. So 30% of firms say that they are planning to automate some sort of, role or task that they are currently using, an entry-level person with minimal experience to do. AI's ability to manage routine tasks just means that traditional entry-level jobs may decline, leading to fewer opportunities for new entrants into the workforce. I'm interested to see how construction shifts to include these, more green people into the workforce here and be able to kind of like train them up. I think that's one big shift that we're going to see that nobody's really talking about yet. Yeah, there's still going to be needs for bringing new people into the workforce, but these like traditional, like, yeah, just start out here and just start out with this like mind-numbing, these tasks, that's going to be automated away. So AI performs routine tasks with high efficiency. AI excels at tasks such as data entry, document control, and basic scheduling right now. You'll notice that the robotics side of this, it's a little bit further out. Next 6 to 12 months, we're really focused around, or in my mind, we're going to see the most movement around the document side of construction as far as AI goes. The robotic stuff's a little bit further out. This is going to improve efficiency, further threatening, those traditional roles that rely heavily on just mindless copy paste, click, update, track this, put this here over and over and over again. We're gonna talk about, the short term, midterm, automation stuff. So here's kind of what I've been kind of talking with you guys about. Short term effects is, the enhancement in human integration right now. We're still not fully trusting AI blindly. So in the short term, AI is enhancing productivity by supporting field roles rather than replacing them. Think supporting them with all the administrative stuff, giving them the document on a silver platter when they need it, showing them maybe they needed to see like a walkthrough of a site or the daily report photos for a specific daily report. All of that stuff is basically going to turn this into giving it to who needs it when they need it on a silver platter so they can make a quick decision on, approve this, request this or change this. Workers are already using AI-driven tools like drones for surveying, which increases efficiency without the loss of jobs. Human oversight remains essential on dynamic job sites where adaptability and critical thinking are necessary to handle unforeseen circumstances, ensuring that human touch is still vital in construction processes. And this is the one thing about the construction industry that I think is so unique. Somebody's got to be on site. Somebody's got to bring in this like 10 years of experience of what they've seen on job sites for the past 10 years. That stuff is critical right now. That stuff's not going away in the short term. That stuff's going to be needed for the next 5, 10 years, right? So project managers, superintendents, stuff like that, I see being very secure in terms of like what AI is going to be able to change or adjust or automate. Midterm effects, transitions to specialized robots, and the key word here is specialized. I've yet to see any of these humanoid robot companies, and I follow a ton of AI stuff. As if you guys are in the AI community, I'm posting literally every single day about something that I've found in where I study all these like different AI advancements. But in the construction space specifically, there are robotics happening. There is innovation around robotics, but every single one that I've seen so far is specialized. There is not a humanoid robot that is, mimicking what a person can do. They look more like this picture. They're like specific to just bricklaying, right? So looking to the midterm, a significant transformation is anticipated as the adoption of autonomous equipment becomes more, common by the early 2030s. We're going to see a slow transition, but specialized robots will take over these repetitive tasks like bricklaying, drywall finishing, rebar tying, and often operating under human supervision. This shift will require a new skill set for workers as they will need to manage and interact with these advanced technologies efficiently. So you guys can think that we're creating a whole nother layer of problems here by bringing these robotics on site. A bricklayer knows, what's good, what's going to get approved, what's good quality and what's bad quality. I don't see like a technician of sorts or somebody that's never laid a brick in their life being the people that monitor these bricklaying devices. I think somebody that has that skilled trade is going to transition into monitoring these devices, and they're going to be very specialized. There's going to be a bricklaying robot with the bricklaying subcontractor. There's going to be the drywall robot with the drywall subcontractor, but the people monitoring these and controlling these are likely going to be people that are from that skilled workforce. It's easier on their bodies to now like come to these job sites. They're still flexing like what's good work and what's bad work, and like how to approach certain problems. And maybe they fill in the gaps on something that's really unique that the robot can't do. But they're basically just monitoring something, and these robots can work overnight and they can come in the next day and they can come in and they can say, okay, well, you just worked for 24 hours straight, robot. I'm just going to come in and double check some of your work and maybe fix up a thing here and there. But that's one transition where specialized robots is kind of the thing that I want you guys to take away from this. There's not yet a company that's really pushing towards a humanoid kind of robotic system. There's plenty of humanoid robot systems being built out there, but nobody is specifically trying to tackle the trades with humanoid robots that I've found so far in the AI space. It's all very specialized. Let's talk about the emerging roles here. And I kind of just gave you guys a little preview of it, but let's dive into each one of them a little bit deeper. So, my opinion, the robotic technicians and operators demand is going to increase. And I see a challenge here with these, specialized robot companies. They're going to have to create some kind of school, like it's almost like a trade school where they're going to have to come in and train these, bricklayers, drywall guys. They're going to have to train them on how to manage these new robotic systems, how to fix them, how to put them on site, how to set them up for success, and then how to monitor them. So with the rise of AI and robotics in construction, over the next 5 to 10 years, we're talking now a little bit further out, right? Um, Robotic technicians and operators will play a critical role in maintaining and programming these technologies, ensuring they function effectively on job sites. Their expertise will bridge the gap between mechanical operation and digital systems, making them vital to the successful integration of AI tools in construction processes. So the guys that are laying the bricks today are going to be the critical piece that a lot of these robotics companies need to get on site and get them working correctly and get them doing good work, 5 to 10 years from now. So it's not to say that, these skilled laborers are going to just be out of work. Will there be few of them needed? Probably, but will we still need some? Yes. Role of automation specialists. So automation specialists will be essential in overseeing AI-driven equipment, ensuring that these machines operate safely and efficiently. They will manage the implementation of automated systems, monitor performance, and troubleshoot any issues that arise, ensuring that automation enhances productivity without compromising safety. So again, this is going to be probably a role that's going to be developed within construction companies, I think. I think each construction company, I've seen a lot of construction companies adopt Starlink, right? Now they have Starlink on all their sites, but there's going to be roles where, okay, we're bringing in our own, drone system to fly the side of the project every night. It's going to take off from the top of the trailer and it's going to go land itself at the end of its like little cycle that it's going to do when it flies through and takes photos and videos for us. So we at the office can just play it whenever we need to, or we're tracking stuff, or we have, now a video record of stuff. Automations like that, I see companies, in my mind in the future they're gonna have their own kind of like almost like people have IT specialists now. There's gonna be the people that are doing more of like the automation and the AI specialized things, and they're just gonna be an expert in automation and how AI works and how it thinks and how these different um, technologies can be incorporated onto the job site, how they can gain a little bit of an edge, how they can improve this process, and so on. Evolution of traditional trades. So as AI and robotics take a more prominent role, traditional trades will evolve. Workers will need to develop a hybrid skill that combine their existing craftsmanship with new technological competencies. For instance, carpenters may also need to learn to operate other machines, like merging manual skills with digital proficiency. And this also kind of goes back to the bricklayer, monitoring the bricklayer automating robot. All right. So let's talk about some lacking things. I've heard this from people at conferences. I've heard this from people in our AI community. I've heard this from people on these webinars that email me after. So I think that overall, construction, you guys are just busy as heck. And essential digital and technical competencies are sometimes lacking, not out of like a lack of motivation, but of a lack of time. And digital technical skills are crucial for construction professionals to successfully integrate AI technologies into their workflows. I'm already seeing this today, like people that aren't, chatting with ChatGPT like 5 to 10 times a day. I'm like, why? Like, I guarantee you there's 5 to 10 things a day that thing can help you with. And more on ChatGPT and Gemini and stuff like that. If we have time at the end, like I told you guys, I would kind of sh share with you what some of the ChatGPT employees told me. But to leverage the efficiencies that, innovation that AI offers, you're going to struggle if you're not already trying to use like the basics. Like it's not going to get any more simple than ChatGPT. Like it's pretty much as simple as it gets. It's a sentence or a word in, and it's an output. So, getting comfortable with that. You guys are on this webinar. I don't think you guys are part of that group, but you could probably know a couple of people just off the top of your head that would be part of that group. Lack of data literacy and management skills. So I talk about this all the time, but ChatGPT is only, or any AI, Gemini, whatever you guys want to use, it's only going to amplify what's below. So if your data is a mess below, it's going to amplify a mess above and give you just crappy answers above. So if your project data, if your compliance documents, if your vendor information, if any of that stuff isn't necessarily like really structured and dialed in, you're going to have some struggles when you do try to incorporate AI. And I think that's where a lot of people just get frustrated in the construction community and just give up. It's because there is this overall lack of data structure. And every company does it differently. So, an AI company that comes into the construction space is going to have to play with everybody's data a little bit differently, right? And one thing that we did at Contracts Connected is we spent 2 years just building how do we structure and how do we, really refine the way that we generate agreements, subcontracts, POs, whatever. And how do we also collect all the attachments, COIs, W-9s, all that kind of stuff on autopilot? And then once we collect it, how do we store it organized? So then when we layer this AI stuff on top to automate a lot of it, how is it just so refined and structured that we can layer AI to do anything on top of it and it won't have any problems at all? So data literacy is, an increasingly important thing as construction teams rely on data-driven insights for project management and decision making. However, many professionals and even like companies in general lack the necessary skills to interpret and manage the data effectively, which can hinder project efficiency and outcomes. So the data management's the key thing here. You guys, if you know your data is a mess now, fix it now because in 5 years, it's going to only amplify when you're trying to now get adoption on a new AI product that's life-changing for your guys' company. It's going to just make zero difference for your company if the data below it that it's using isn't well structured and isn't good for it to use. Isn't inefficient knowledge of AI and machine learning. So this is one gap that I personally am trying to solve for the industry by I have the AI construction community. I have over 40 5-minute or less videos taking people from not knowing anything about AI to being able to say, hey, I'm an advanced user of any generative chat. Put me in Gemini, put me in ChatGPT, put me in Claude. I don't care. I'm an advanced user. Those 40 videos that are very short are taking entire companies sometimes. I have a couple of GCs that bought it for their entire team. It's literally $10 a month in a 7-day free trial. Some people watch all the videos in 7 days and just get going. But it's just being motivated and saying, I'm not going to be left behind. I'm not going to be, this like basic person when it comes to using these AI machine learning and like different systems, I'm gonna know a little bit more than the average person because I want to be better than the average person. So understanding AI and machine learning fundamentals and how they kind of operate is essential for the workforce to adopt these technologies. However, many construction professionals haven't received any training in these areas. It's limiting their ability to work alongside AI systems and utilize advanced tools effectively. And construction's one of those industries where I think that the people that work in construction really need to understand the intricacies of how something happens before they fully like believe in something. And there's zero training out there. And Procore released a training the other month about, AI, and it's so basic. I was like, they didn't do a single screen share. They didn't give a single prompt. I'm like, how is this bridging a gap here in the skills? How is this teaching them like if you know how this LLM or this, how ChatGPT thinks when you type in a sentence, you're going to automatically know how to type in better sentences and better prompts. But there's just no training. There's training for everything else, but there's this lack of training for the industry right now. And that's one thing that I tried to resolve. And I have another course coming out because I'm just seeing more and more people that are like, yeah, well, I use it here, I use it there, and I know that my PM uses it this way and they use Claude and somebody else is using ChatGPT and we're all just pasting stuff in every day and hoping for the best. And that's just not the right way to go about it. And I think structured training is the only answer. And for people that are super busy, like the construction industry, a structured training that's just like sit down for like 20 minutes and just get up to speed, it's the way to go. You can carve out 20 minutes somewhere, some way, especially with the holidays coming up. So the core AI related skill domains, again, data management is critical because your data, especially in construction, and I talk to you guys about this almost every week, if your data in construction isn't right, it's just going to give you crap answers. And construction's one of those industries where you guys have very specific project information that needs to be inside the context window of your AI system that you're using. And if you guys aren't having that kind of context around your project, you're just going to get generic construction answers, and it's not what you need. AI and machine learning fundamentals, again, construction specifically, just the way that people's brains operate in construction that I've found, understanding how it works and how it's built is going to help you guys, just use it better. Programming and computation. This is like getting in more advanced if you guys want to be kind of like that go-to AI person or automation person within a construction industry. Collaboration tools, I think ChatGPT is really going in this direction. Gemini definitely is going in this direction, but digital collaboration tools around shared projects, uploading all the project information so the entire team now has all the information about this project to make a decision. AI-driven decision making. So, it's going to give you its best guess, best recommendation, human in the loop, you guys pick. Cybersecurity awareness, where your data is going, how it's getting shared. I've done multiple webinars on this in the past. Happy to do more. Change management and adaptability. So something that can flex, track the changes, and kind of like be more of an ongoing mold of what's going on in this project rather than, oh, I uploaded up, the prime contract. It should know everything. It's not gonna. Communication and collaboration. So a lot of these tools, um, right now everybody's using it in silos. Like I have my ChatGPT account, you have your Gemini account, stuff like that. It's going to go more into, oh, hey, John chatted with this same AI chat, earlier today and talked about, an RFI response. I'm going to come in here and now put in some change order information or talk to it about generating a change order. That stuff is now going to be collaborative, almost like a live Google Sheet. And I think that we're going to see that more and more as well. But if somebody is in there messing it up, it's just not right. So despite the widespread acknowledgement of the need for improved AI skills in the construction workforce, progress in addressing these gaps remains really slow, if not yet like non-existent. 90% of companies identify a need for enhanced digital competencies, yet only a mere 6% have initiated significant training initiatives. It's huge. It's just like the biggest gap that I've ever seen in terms of like knowing they should be doing something and then just like I don't think that they're not doing it because they don't want to. I think that they just don't know, what. Most construction companies don't have like an AI specialist in the team that's here, ready to get in the conference room on a Thursday and give like a team-wide training on our how we're going to use ChatGPT going forward, right? This disparity highlights a critical digital literacy gap. it's particularly among the older experienced tradespeople who have historically not engaged with the modern technology tools. And in terms of like the skills to kind of like bridge this gap, I wanted to say, okay, we don't just have a problem. Here's some solutions. Integrating AI into the professional development of people at companies, I think, is one really easy trigger here. So, embedding AI skills training into regular training programs, ensuring that site workers can effectively collaborate with intelligence systems, that shared collaboration, shared ChatGPT business accounts, stuff like that. This approach includes adding modules on data analysis, BIM software, and robotics, to ongoing safety and skill training sessions as well, just giving them a heads up that you might see this. On-job tech exposure. So progressive companies are gradually introducing AI technologies on projects while allowing workers to gain hands-on experience by pairing seasoned professionals with, more of the new technology, or maybe somebody that's just younger, and that's more, forward-leaning as far as this stuff goes. This method helps build confidence and competence as workers adapt to changing tech environments. Formal upskilling programs, partnerships between construction firms and educational institutions are creating formal training curricula focused on AI and digital skills. These programs are offering short courses, certifications, micro degrees that emphasize integration of construction knowledge with digital competencies. I think this is going to be the way that we see it happen the most. There's a ton of AI online resources out there as well. Like our AI community is specifically built to not only give them a very clear, like, here's 40 5-minute or less videos. It's going to take you from zero to hero as far as using AI in your daily life goes. It's going to teach you what is AI, how it works, how to use it, and how to get the most out of it. And that's really what we're building at the AI Blueprint. And on top of that, it puts them in a community with other people in construction facing the same problems they are. Integrating AI into professional development. So, you just want to continuously push your team, reward people, create incentive programs around that. On the job tech exposure, formal upskilling programs. So you guys can do everything from partnering with educators to short courses, giving certifications, emphasis on dual domain expertise. So, giving raises, giving bonuses, whatever that looks like. The companies that are the most forward-leaning with this, I think, will win at the end of the day. In terms of reskilling things into new roles, just basically making sure that people that are in those entry level positions, you know, giving them the expansion, like giving them other options. If their role is being automated by AI more and more each day, things like expansion of apprenticeship programs. I'm already seeing this in the community. So unions are proactively engaging in workforce development by expanding their apprenticeship programs to integrate critical digital skills that align with evolving needs of the construction industry. There's being, update to the curriculum of, these specialty trades and their trade schools. Training centers are revising their curriculum to ensure that apprentices are equipped with the knowledge and emerging technologies, including robotic total stations and data privacy protocol is essential for modern construction practices. And then the collaboration for future skills. So collaborative efforts between unions and training centers aim to ensure that workers are not only trained in traditional skills, but also digital competencies, preparing them for, technology-driven future in construction. And really what this is about the lifelong learning culture. And I think any good construction company already has this. And I think AI has kind of taken us by storm, even though it's been around for a little bit now, multiple years. It's getting its hands more and more and more into the construction industry. And with those guys out there that are the most experienced guys at the company, you might see a little bit of hesitation, but I think as long as everybody is on board here, I talk with some guys at Contracts Connected customers that are old school. They're very old school guys, but there are these guys that are old school that are very open to a new way of doing things, a better way of doing things, and they realize it's not just about them, it's about everybody in the company. It's not about, hey, how is this making me and my life better? It's about how do we uplevel the company as a whole, make everybody's life better as a whole. And some of these technologies are really the key to that. And that's one thing that we try to get people on the same page about when implementing our back office automation platform. So collaborating with the tech providers, firms are increasingly recognizing the importance of partnering with technology providers to maximize their effectiveness of new tools in the field. These partnerships ensure that the workforce receives tailored training and support, enabling employees to seamlessly integrate with advanced technologies in their daily operations. One key thing that we do at Contracts Connected is unlimited video support. And I know it sounds crazy, but construction, like adoption is key. Adoption is hard, especially companies that have been doing the same thing for a long time. We take pride in saying we will be there as many hours as you need for as long as you need to make sure that your company and your people at your company, no matter their technical abilities, are able to really push forward on innovation and push forward on a new, better way of doing things because you guys bought that software, you guys bought that tool for a reason. And assuming it does what you guys were sold, assuming that it wasn't a lie and it wasn't all smoke and mirrors, the adoption's the hard part, right? And once you get everybody on, the same rowing pattern, it's really magical to see like a company fully adopt something like Contracts Connected and see the efficiencies that come through. And they come back to us. Like I had some users come visit us at our booth at the SAME conference and just say, I don't know how we were doing it before. I just don't. And it's pretty cool to have those conversations. Um, I want to give a little bit of time here towards the end of this presentation. I want to clue you guys in on uh, like Sam Altman has put like a code red at ChatGPT, and I kind of want to share the insights with you guys that I got as a thank you for all you guys joining today. But overall, we do have labor shortage. We do have automated solutions. Is the automated solutions currently bridging the gap where the labor shortages are? I don't really think so. It's really about this skilled workforce that we're having the shortages around, and the specialized robotics just aren't there yet. I think that they're going to be there in the next 5 years or so. Automated solutions, you can say that you could free people up in the office, but are the office people really going to want to go be tradespeople? I don't think so. But really, the office and the administrative stuff is where we're seeing the most automation right now. There is some union advocacy for training here. I won't get into all of it, but really it's getting into the collaborative implementation of AI. The unions are on board, the trade schools are on board with this. It's happening. So some of the younger apprentices that you guys are going to see on site are going to already have this knowledge. But this knowledge, again, isn't happening for the people that are already on site. That's not happening for the people that are already in the construction office or even the new people coming into construction offices. Um, Basically, there's some regulations that are coming out now across unions as well for like automation changes. Retraining programs for displaced workers are also being kind of like advocated by unions. This is something that they know is going to be a problem in the future. It's just kind of validating a lot of the stuff that I've been telling you guys today. There's a lot of different things that are coming up when it comes to bringing robotics on site. Um, it's going to be, people are going to fight it, just the way that people fought like, newspapers and stuff like that. Like it's just going to be something that people are going to have to get used to, and there's not going to be this seamless integration. Worker voice in AI implementation, I thought this was important to throw in here as well. Labor groups emphasize that the importance of involving workers in the design and deployment of AI technologies in construction. It's very important. By ensuring that those who are directly impacted by these changes have a say, the industry can create a more effective, practical, and user-friendly AI solution. So it's what we do every day at Contracts Connected. I would not have built the system that we have now for the back office without my co-founder running a general contractor in the federal space for 15 years before he sold it to a Alaskan Native corporation. So it's like the real deal, right? Like somebody that was in the trenches doing this, managing this with this headache had to be the one to develop this AI solution. I think so many of these AI companies out there that the people just had never like walked in the trenches are lost. And it's not going to be something that's going to be truly beneficial or truly game changing for construction companies. A lot of these solutions need to be built by people that were in the trenches. Upskilling as a collaborative effort, expanding training centers for digital skills and then curriculum updates for relevant skills. That's all in terms of, people coming into the workforce. So overall, to ensure that the benefits of AI in construction are shared equitably, sorry guys, talking for almost an hour straight here. A considered an effort from all stakeholders is essential here. So this involves investing in training programs and enhance digital and AI competencies among workers, fostering a culture of continuous learning, and creating pathways for tech-savvy talent to enter the trades, as well as, up-level the older people in the trades. Collaboration among employers, unions, educational institutions, and technology providers will be critical in preparing the workforce for evolving demands of the industry, ensuring that no one is left behind as the sector adopts to this technological transformation. So, with that, I wanted to give you guys a little kind of like piece of information that I've gotten from one of my buddies that works at ChatGPT. Basically, he said that, Sam Altman like came in and they have basically this code red going on with their development community right now. And code red, essentially in their mind, means that they need to get a new model out, ASAP. So they're trying to get a new model out. In addition to ChatGPT 5.1, that literally is only a few weeks old. I just did my last webinar on all the new things that came out with ChatGPT 5.1. But the problem that they're seeing is Gemini, which is Google's AI, is getting better benchmarks across like more critical thinking tasks. And Gemini's Google is actually gaining more and more users and is beating ChatGPT in some ways. So they are in code red now over there at ChatGPT. And they should be releasing a new model for you guys, which I'll do probably a webinar on. But they're going to be releasing a new model here this month. And then lastly, we have our AI community. So if you guys are, into, upskilling the community as a whole, this is an easy place to come and do it. It's $10 for a month. It's a 7-day free trial with the link that's in here. I highly recommend that you guys do join. We have members all over the world. So it's been pretty cool to see everybody join in. We have a classroom here. We're basically releasing one more course before the end of the year. But we have Beginner's Guide to AI for Construction, Advanced Prompting, already here. We have all of our webinar recordings here, and then we have all of our AI resources. And I also post every single day when it comes to, what we have here in terms of like AI news. I put infographics here. Um, Here's like, one that's like a text to floor plan AI tool that I found for the community, but I'm just trying to provide as much value as I can. And again, these webinars are made for you guys. So if you guys have any input, please let me know. I'd love to make a webinar topic that you guys care deeply about. So with that, I'm going to kind of end us there. We're a minute over today. I had to fly through some slides. But thank you guys all for coming. I hope that you got something out of this, whether you learned, one really simple thing or you learned a lot of things. My goal is for you to walk away feeling like this was a useful hour of your day. So, hope everybody has happy holidays. I will see you guys here next Tuesday. And then that might be the last webinar of the year, or I might do one more. Just depends on, what the turnout is. I know a lot of people are starting to go on their kind of disappear mode for the holidays. So until next time, guys, I will see you later. Thanks.